Jim Klauck here on the Beach Money Podcast. Today we have a good friend of Jordan Adler's, Kody Bateman. Hey, Kody, how are you?
Good, Jim. How you doing? It's an honor to be on this podcast.
Hey, it's great to have you here. I know that you've known Jordan for some time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history with him?
Well, as y'all know, Jordan is Mr. Beach Money, and he's just a great human being. He calls himself a dream broker, where he helps people to, kind of set big goals and dreams and live a beach money life. Cool thing about Jordan is that he's a very authentic, very genuinely cares about people. So he's just a master at creating genuine relationships with others. And that's just been the key to his success. So it's just an honor to be on this, on this program and talk a little bit about his philosophies. It's great. I've been a business partner with him for over 19 years now. I actually own one of the companies that he represents. So we've worked together very closely for many years.
Yeah, I know you've got a great working relationship with him. I think I might get the better deal, though, because when Jordan and I were talking about podcasts, he said, "Hey, would you host mine?" And I'm like, I guess. And I get to interview great people like Kody Bateman and all of Jordan's inside friends and associates. So I think I get the best deal in the world because I get access to Jordan's favorite people. And that's how we connected here today on the podcast.
Well, yeah, I'm honored to be considered one of his favorite people, and he's certainly one of mine. So yeah, this is great. I'm looking forward to having a conversation here.
So tell us about Promptings. I know you as a send out cards guy since like 2005. So why don't you talk a little bit about send out cards and Promptings?
So we have recently created a new brand as Promptings, and Promptings has always been here. We debuted send out cards 20 years ago. But the message behind the reason send out cards was created was to help people act on their promptings. And so that's always been part of our culture. It's just now in today's day and age here in 2023, there's a much stronger need in the world, and people are more prepared in the world to literally have a mechanism to act on promptings and reach out in kindness. So we chose to rebrand at this point as Promptings, and send out cards is the mechanism that basically runs the whole Promptings program. So what is a prompting? Prompting is an intuitive thought to reach out in kindness to others and to yourself. That's what a prompting is. If you act on your promptings, they're going to guide you in your life to meet the right people at the right time, and it's going to help you to create genuine human connection with others. Jordan is a master of this. The whole energy around everything he teaches is based on this principle of acting on promptings, and Jordan's a master at it.
I would agree with you. Not everyone can do what Jordan does. There are a lot of other people in your organization that do the same type of thing that are very good at that. And I think in order to be successful in small business, specifically, where you're doing a lot of one-on-one things, you really need to be good with people and connect with them, but not only connect with other people. And Jordan's very good at that. This great example. You and I are talking today, Kody. You and I don't know each other. I've known about you for some time, but Jordan thought it'd be a good idea that we got together to get to know each other and for everyone to get to know you more on the podcast. And so I would agree. Jordan's the kind of person that when you meet him for the first time, he has a warm handshake, big smile, and he basically says, "How can I help you?" Which means, "Who can I connect you with?"
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a master connector, and I think part of what, of course, we all have gifts, and he does have a gift of creating genuine connection with other people. He cares deeply about other people, but part of the reason that he linked up with my company 20 years ago is because we have a service that completely resonates with that. And the reason he's never done anything else over the last 20 years, and this will always be his home, is because it resonates with who he is, and here we act on promptings. And you mentioned send out cards. We send cards out and we send gifts out to people. And most people in the world, they like automation to any follow-up they do, whether it's online or offline, any follow-up or any communication they do, they like to have automated programs. And we have automated programs here that sends cards and gifts out for you in an automated way. But what makes us different is we also have what we call the heartfelt prompting card. And that's a card where you I'm sure you've received many of them from Jordan, where you're not on an automated system with a preset message. He's choosing a card, he's taking a picture of you and him on it, he's personalizing it to you, and he's physically typing in a heartfelt message from his heart to you in a heartfelt card. And Jordan does that probably 8, 9, 10 times every single day. So when most people just want automation and just send it out and just automate it and have it do it for me, the Jordan types do that, but they also do the genuine one at a time heartfelt message. That's what separates him from anybody else, or anybody that uses our system. That's the great separator.
Yeah, and it's great now, Kody. Today, people can do it on their smartphone. Back when I first started using send out cards, I had to do it on my desktop. And so it's a lot easier now because you can literally do it while you're waiting for your plane to take off, and you can send out a card from your seat on the plane, and within a couple of days, the recipient gets it. Something I really love about getting a card in the mail is it's going against what everyone else is doing. And I love going against the grain. What I mean by that is today, so many people want to use electronic media, whether it's email, which is getting kind of old, social media, instant messaging, texting. People don't even use the phone much anymore. What's nice about using the mail, and thank goodness that the Pony Express is still in business, and it probably always will be, because it's kind of like a law, right? It's just always there, and they need to be there. What's great about that is when you go to your mailbox, amongst all the junk mail, you get a card written by a friend of yours, and it may have a picture of you or something that's specific to you with a stamp on it. And that's really cool, right? Because today we don't have pen pals. We don't have people sending us postcards. We don't have people sending us birthday cards anymore. They'll just go on Facebook, right? And they'll just say, oh, happy birthday, because Mr. Zuckerberg said it was your birthday. It's not even authentic anymore. Oh. Right?
And
but
people feel the difference. I mean, they truly feel the difference. All of us are recipients of email messages and Facebook messages. And it is it's a good gesture, and you appreciate it. But versus receiving a physical card in the mail, there's just no comparison. It's like night and day difference. And the thing about receiving a card in the mail is it uses all the senses of the person receiving the card. They see it, they touch it, they feel it, they even smell the paper.
Sure.
So all the senses are being used as they're taking in that appreciation that somebody sent them. And a lot of times they'll put it on their refrigerator door or whatever to remind them of how good it made them feel. So it's just a huge, impactful difference to go to that extra effort.
I've seen so many different small business owners use it, and it's really ideal for small business owners and self-employed people. Realtors, people who sell cars. I mean, picture this. You're a car salesperson. You sell a car, take a picture of the new car owner and then send them a card. Right?
Yeah, no question about it. We have examples of a lot of people that do that. In fact, I wrote a book called The Power of Human Connection, and it's how relationship marketing is transforming the way people do business. And there's just countless stories in there. Real estate agents, car salespeople, people in insurance, all different niches that people work in, and how they use this card system. The stories are unreal. It's just what you send out is what comes back to you. So if you appreciate people, they're going to appreciate you. What you appreciate appreciates. It gets bigger. So it's just a fundamental, ancient principle that's been around for thousands of years.
Well, sure. So much has changed, Kody, in our lives, in the civilized world. But deep down in our DNA, who we are, things haven't changed. I mean, honestly, if we went back in time, 500 years, 1,000 years, would still need to drink water, eat food, have a mate. That hasn't changed, but I think we've forgotten a lot about what humans really want. People do want connection to things. They want to belong to something. They want to be appreciated. And I think using a card program like Send Out Cards, it's like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you do that? If you're not writing your own cards by hand with your logo on it, which people can do, right? They've been doing it for centuries. Why not plug into a system like yours, which I think is just genius? And because there's some automation to it that, remembers addresses and information like that. So you can really bang out a card fast, and it's still got the personal touch. And I think people make so many mistakes where they go where everyone else is going electronically, and there's some value to that, but you get lost in the shuffle. If you go back to what people really want, it's a human connection. And for the younger generation who isn't used to getting something in the mail, that must blow their mind, I would think, because when you get someone in their 20s who never got mail before, I'm an old guy, right? So, we used to get mail. We used to send postcards when we'd go away on vacation. And it must be a real treat for young people to get this stuff in the mail because they never have before. Do you have any stories about that where someone says, this is kind of cool, I actually have mail coming to me?
Yeah, well, there's so many stories. In fact, when you mentioned children, it's been a lot of fun over the years to send heartfelt messages to children. We've had a lot of people come to our events, and they'll bring their family with them, and so sometimes I'll have 12, 13, 14, 10-year-old kids that are in our courses, and I always, when young people are like that, are there and they're engaged, I always make a point to try to connect with them and spend a little time with them. But the most impactful thing is for a person of influence to send a card to a 12-year-old kid. Because to that 12-year-old kid, your influence is so much bigger than it is to an adult. You know what I'm saying? Is for someone to take the time, it just has huge impact. I've got stories of kids I sent cards to when they were 12. They're now 25 years old, and they still reached out to me and talk about the impact that card had as a 12-year-old and help them to succeed in their life. Jordan, man, he's got a ton of stories like that too, where reaching out to people and just that extra effort, showing that you care, it has lasting impact on you. This is impact that lasts a lifetime for people. So that's how powerful it is.
Kody, where did this idea come from? Was this your idea 20 years ago to come up with a program that allowed people to send out cards?
Well, again, the whole point was to help people act on their promptings, and it starts with a story where I went over to say bye to my parents when my new wife and I and our little baby girl, we were moving away from Utah all the way across the country. We went over to mom and dad's house to say goodbye to the family, and when we went to leave, I noticed my older brother Chris was in a lot adjacent to my parents' home, and he was moving some vehicles around in this home. And at that moment, or in that lot, at that moment, I had what I call a prompting, and it was strong. It was a strong intuitive thought, or I call it a prompting, that I needed to slow down, go over and tell my brother I love him and say goodbye, give him a hug and say goodbye. But I ignored the prompting. We were in a hurry. There were people waiting for us. So we jumped in the car and we left. Now, I remember honking and waving at my brother, and he waved back at me, but I didn't act on the prompting to slow down and go, officially say goodbye to him for the time being. Well, we moved away. 3 months went by. I get a phone call in the middle of the night. My mother told me that my brother Chris had unexpectedly been killed in an accident. He was 29 years old when he passed. So I got that phone call about, I don't know, probably about 6 months after I had this prompting to say bye to him. So when I hung up the phone that night, I knew I'd never have the chance to do that again. So I made a promise. This was in 1989. I made a promise to my brother Chris, who had just passed away, that when I had promptings to reach out to people, I would act and I would do all I could to help as many people as I could to do the same. And that's where the whole thing started. That's the story behind Send Out Cards. I wanted to find a way to help myself first, to be able to act on my promptings really easily. And then it needed to be a way that I could show others how to do it too. So that turned into a greeting card system as the mechanism to do that. And it took years and years, to develop, but that's the story behind it all.
It's an amazing story, amazing company. Do you find it a need for you to take time out of your day, your week, your month to touch people, to connect, to, the promptings you're talking about? Do these things come to your mind all the time? You're like, okay, I better send a card or pick up the phone or send an email to someone or fly to go visit them. I mean, is this like an everyday thing for you?
It really is. And I'll tell you, sending the cards makes that whole process more conscious. You hear a lot in personal development about being conscious about what you're doing. It's your level of consciousness. And if you can increase your level of consciousness on any item, you're going to excel and succeed at that. You got to increase your level of consciousness. So if you increase your level of consciousness about reaching out and appreciating others, and if you do it in a habitual way, so like I have a habit of sending 2 or 3 of these cards a day, it makes me extremely conscious about reaching out and connecting with people. And so it kind of orchestrates into every other area of your life. I mean, I do stuff now where, I'll call 3 people a week. I just make a note. I'm going to call 3 people a week to see how they're doing and see if there's anything that I can do to be of service to them. That's another habit that was created because I send cards every day. So now I talk to 3 people a week and talk about how I might be able to help them, not expecting anything in return. Just how can I help you? And I think those are exercises that are really important, especially in today's day world, because like you mentioned, social media, everybody in the whole wide world's doing social media and connecting that way. But how many people take that extra effort to make you truly feel appreciated? I say all the time, you can you can fake it that you care, but you cannot fake it to show up. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
I usually say that in a little different way than that. I'm trying to remember exactly how I say that. But you can pretend to care, but you cannot pretend to show up. So, if a friend of you has somebody close to them that passes away, you can pretend to care, but you cannot pretend to show up at the viewing or at the funeral to be in support of your friend. I mean, those are the kind of things that being conscious about appreciation will help you to naturally do.
I've always said you really know who your friends are when you die. They're the ones that show up to your funeral, unfortunately. You
Yeah.
can be conscious for that event. But, it's interesting because honestly, I think many people don't have as many friends as they think they do. But by doing what you've been doing for a long time, you create these connections and it's really good for your business. But before I get into any business talk, I want to ask you another question about why you like to send out a personal card. Is it more for you or is it for the recipient?
That's a great question. When you start doing this, obviously you're doing it to, because you want to connect with people and you want to share appreciation with people. And that is that's the right reason to do it. However, as you start doing it, you get into the habit of doing it, you realize that the act of sending the card does something amazing for your own personal energy. the reason that we're so big on sending heartfelt individual messages every day is because of the activity itself.
Mm-hmm.
I got to think of you, Jim. I got to think about my interaction with you. I got to think about the way I appreciate you. I got to choose a card or build a card with your picture on it. Then I get to take what I think and feel about you and put it into words. And so I'm literally physically typing in words of appreciation to you. So that entire process puts me into a deeper level of appreciation energy. And it's incredible. I say all the time, this is the best personal development tool in the world today, because it puts you in that daily process where you are physically sharing appreciation with somebody, and it just transforms you into a higher vibrational energy. And it's vibrational energy that helps you to manifest who you really are. So it's a powerful tool to the recipient. It's probably more powerful to the sender than it is to the recipient. And it's kind of crazy to say that, but it's really true.
Well, I agree. A lot of people will say that person is so caring and they give of themselves. They always show up to volunteer and they give gifts and they call people on their birthdays. And what I say is that's very nice, but they're doing it for themselves, which is fine, because no one does anything they don't want to do unless they have a gun to their head. So we like to give. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, think about this. If you want to volunteer at the soup kitchen, it's because you want to do it, and it just happens to help others, which is great. But think about all the places you don't volunteer your time. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just that you don't want to do it. And I love the whole idea of calling people, sending out a card, going to lunch with them, because it's something that you're doing good for them, but it's good for you. And to your point, the better you feel, the more you can give to others, and it perpetuates, it grows, it fuels itself.
Yeah, no question. I think a lot of times too, all you have to do as a person is put yourself on the receiving end of things. How do you feel? Like, let's just do a couple examples. How do you feel when you go buy a new car and you have this great connection with the salesperson and they helped you out and everything else, and it was all cool, and you think they're a pretty cool person, and they sell you the car, and you never, ever hear from them again? How does that make you feel? How does it feel when you buy an insurance policy from somebody and you spend money every single month on premiums, but the only time you hear from that person is once a year when it's time for you to renew your premium? No other time do they talk to you. Do you, as a customer who spends thousands of dollars a year in insurance, do you feel appreciated by that person? So it's like,
you're just a commodity.
Right. And so
transaction.
And it's irritating. It gets irritating that people just go up when they want something versus the other way around. So I always tell people, just think of yourself in that way, and then ask yourself a question: how do your customers feel about you? How do your customers feel about the level of appreciation you share with them? That's where the pain is of people that don't use our service, because they realize, oh my goodness, I probably should do more. If I want to feel appreciated when I buy the insurance, by golly, I better make sure that the people I service feel appreciated as well. So, yeah.
I agree with that. A lot of people kind of want to have it their way, Kody. So they don't always put themselves in those shoes. And but if you're really being fair to others and yourself, you should be, especially if you're a small business owner or self-employed, you can manage these connections better than if you're a large corporation. So General Motors selling a car to someone, that's a transaction. The salesperson at the dealership, they have a huge opportunity. Joe Girard did a great job. He sent out cards all the time before he could even get to know you and your business, right? I mean, he built a little empire by himself.
Yep. and Guinness Book of World Records for the #1 car salesman in the world, and all through these activities, sending cards and calling people and all that. It's an amazing story.
And it's so easy, Kody, to stand out today from your competition. If you just sent out a few cards a day to previous clients, doesn't even have to be prospects, you're going to be top of mind. So when someone says, hey, I'm thinking of a realtor, who do you know? Oh, yeah, you should call Sally. Or I'm thinking of a new car. Who do you know who sells Fords? As a matter of fact, I bought a Ford F-150 from a guy and got to know him quite well, and he remembers my birthday. Oh,
yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, yeah, and again, in that book, Power of Human Connection, there's probably over 100 stories like that of people that connected in that type of way. And the thing that's cool about the whole process, how it works, is when you care about, the more you reach out and care about other people, the more that becomes part of who you are. So over time, you just become a genuinely caring person, which again puts you at a higher vibrational energy everywhere you go. When you walk into a room of people that don't know you, they feel your energy. They come to you. They feel that energy because you're implementing those simple practices. Like, you really do care about everyone in the room. I'd like to connect with everybody in this room. I'm going to become a better person if I meet people that are in this room. You're not worried about what you're going to sell them. You're focused on what you can give them and how you can benefit each other's life. And that's the energy you want to be in.
I agree. You become more attractive. And if you believe in the law of attraction, which I do, you're going to be attracting more at that level, which is good. And so I was just thinking what you were saying. If you walk into a room and you know the members of that group so-so, and everyone kind of is associated with each other, but you're the one making connections, you're the one sending out cards or calling them on their birthday, you're like a celebrity in that room. You are the one person in that room that has more touches and connections. And at that point, and I want to move a little bit to the business side, at that point, you're more likely to be able to help them with a service or product you might be selling. And I think, actually, I know by using a card, like send out cards, you are more likely to close more deals. So we talk about relationships and connections. In the end, though, wouldn't it be nice to get more referral business or to, close a deal? So for instance, you may not even know the recipient that well, but maybe they're a prospect and it's a long-term deal. This is a long sales cycle. This is a product or service that could take months or maybe years to close. If you send out a card every month to them, who do you think they're going to call?
Well, there's no question. And one of the things we teach, which over the years has been somewhat controversial, is that, I used to say all the time from the stage, don't ask for the referral, deserve it. I used to say that all the time. And it's funny because we have a lot of real estate people that follow us and they use our system. So at my events, we end up with a lot of real estate people, and they go to their real estate events and they're taught by all the gurus in the real estate area to ask for referrals, ask for referrals. They come to my events, don't ask for referral, deserve it. Let me tell you, there's been some times where it just gets heated. It's like, they freak out because they're so used to that whole thing. But then I explain, I take them through some case studies and explain what the difference is. Again, put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. So if I just purchased a home from you and your real estate services, and the first thing I get is a card from you saying, hey, thank you for the purchase, and can you give me 3 referrals? Asking for the 3 referrals just negated the thank you. It's like, you didn't thank me, you just wanted referrals from me.
Yep.
So, and again, all you have to do, and I'd say that to real estate agents, be the buyer. How do you feel as the buyer when that happens? All I'm saying is just say thank you. Thank you. I appreciate getting to know you. I hope you have an amazing experience with your new home. Great place to make memories with your family. God bless you. Appreciate you so much. Done. That's when they remember you. And then you send the birthday card and you send their kid a birthday card.
Sure.
And you just remember stuff, and you only say happy birthday. You only say thank you, um so that's kind of the philosophy that we teach around here. So
I agree. Don't sell, have people buy from you. Now, that can take a while. So if you're desperate, no one likes a desperate salesperson, right? But if you're desperate, you're like dialing for dollars. Hey, 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 buy, buy, buy. But if you do it right, and I like to call it layering, is over time, you're dropping these connection things, these touches. Over time, you've built up such credit. And when that individual needs you, or they know someone close to them who needs you, your phone will ring. But Kody, wouldn't you agree it's an investment often over time? It's like going to college. It could take you 4, 6, 8 years to get the degree you want. It's not going to take one semester. So it's an investment.
Right. It is an investment over time. And Jordan's a great example of that. A couple of years of consistent appreciation sending, and now he's got this massive network of people that feel appreciated by him. And so it's very, very easy for him to conduct business. In fact, he says, when he goes into recruiting for his network marketing business, which is our business, he really doesn't have to prospect at all. It's like there's so many people that know him to be the beach money guy and this and that they call him. And then when we do things like right now, our company has this thing called the 10 card gratitude challenge. So 10 cards, 20 days, $20. So you get to send 10 cards out within 20 days, and it costs you $20, stamps included, anywhere in the world. So we call it a challenge. So now Jordan's got 5, 6, 7, 800 people in his network that feel love and appreciation. All he has to do is in conversation with them say, hey, I've got this challenge. I want you to try it out. He doesn't have to tell them what the challenge is. Hey, it's only $20. I want you to try it out.
Sure.
They say, yeah, let's do it. What is it? They agree to do it before they even know what it is. That's because of the relationship he has with them. Yeah.
It's like when someone says, hey, would you donate to this cause? Yeah, Jordan, for you, I would. They don't even know what it is, Absolutely. Right? It's that relationship. And relationships are built on trust and time. And so many people want to take a shortcut. So, Kody, I don't know you that well. I can't ask you for a favor. I can't. Now, we know some people in common. I know a lot of people who are in your organization, and I know Jordan very well. I may be able to call you and say, hey, had you on the podcast and get somewhere. But if you and I had known each other for the past 10 or 20 years, we'd be like brothers, probably, if we kept in touch. And so it is everything I think in life should be considered a marathon. Too many people are trying to run the sprint, and it's really not fair to anybody, and it's not fair to yourself. And if you're not willing to lose weight over time, get in physical shape over time, work on your mind over time, work on your relationships and connections over time, then you really don't deserve it.
Yeah, no question. And that just kind of ties into fundamental personal development stuff. Consistency is everything. Consistency in everything you do is everything. All successful people can show you a pathway of consistency that they've used. They've created good habits. They do them consistently every single day, day after day, month after month, year after year. And that's what attributes to their success. So you're right. In terms of appreciation, it's just consistency over time, always being in a state of genuinely caring for people. And that's what makes it happen. Nobody gets rich overnight. Nobody, and I don't even know if I like the term you hear self-made millionaire. I don't believe there's a self-made anybody. Nobody's self-made. I mean, we all have helped each other. Now, granted, you take responsibility for your own success, yes, But let me tell you, there's a lot of people along your roadway that helped you along the way, and you helped them along the way. So we're all in this thing together. We're in this game called life together, and my strengths are your weaknesses, your strengths are my weaknesses. And rather than judge each other based on what I'm strong at and you're weak at, why don't we work with each other on, hey, you could help me with my weakness. Maybe I could help you with yours. Isn't that a better world to live in? So it's kind of like we got it backwards in the world. It's like, I'm going to see what you're not good at, and then I'm going to disrespect you for that. And that judgment comes in. So we got to switch that around to the way it should be.
And honestly, most people just don't get it, whatever it is. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going down the wrong path, and everything in their lives seems to be difficult for them. They're always struggling with money and, alcohol abuse, maybe, can't keep a job, failing businesses. And if you just do some of these core principles, if you just do kind of the right thing, and we have to remember, everybody, that we're dealing with humans. We're selling to them. They're buying from us. We're working with them. And like Kody says, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
We want to be treated well. Most of us do. Some of us, I guess, like to be punished, but for the most part, most of us want to be treated well. And everyone wants to take a shortcut. And in today's world, everyone's moving so fast, and it's a race. And they're like, well, my competition's doing this, so I need to do this, and do. And I think the tortoise in this case wins. I'm not saying using a connection program like Send Out Cards has to be slow, but it is steady. And the sprint almost never works unless the building's on fire. Then start running fast. But beyond that, seriously, in life, it is a slow process. When you look at bodybuilders, they didn't decide at 21 that at 22 they were going to be Mr. Universe. It took a while for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not long though, but it took some time and some consistency and hard work. It wasn't a sprint. It was a mindset, right? And if we can change our minds a little bit, because Kody touched upon that, where if we put ourselves in other people's shoes and we genuinely connect with them and touch them in genuine ways. So when you sell them something, like Kody said, don't send them a thank you card and, oh, can you give me 3 referrals? Send them a thank you card, send them a birthday card, holiday card, maybe a card out of nothing. Joe Girard would send a card for no reason.
Yeah, just stay connected type of card, or thinking of you card.
Yeah. Or, hey, I know you like this type of content. I thought you might like this. Or or I know you like brownies, so here are some brownies, right? So all these different things. And when you connect with people and they feel important, you have won. It's so simple. If you're in a transactional type business, it's harder to do that. But a lot of the people who are watching this now, Kody, they're small business owners, are really self-employed, many of them. And so this is a great opportunity. This is people to people. This isn't this transactional. This is people buying from people.
Yeah, for sure. And again, that's and it's great to be involved with industries like that. I'm in an industry, Jordan is in an industry where it's solopreneurs. It's solopreneurs, and that's what you're referring to. There's lots of us, there's millions of us out there, solo entrepreneurs, if you will, with small businesses. Many people in the network marketing profession or the affiliate marketing profession, they're all solopreneurs representing products and services and building their book of business. Insurance agents, they're building their book of business representing bigger groups of people. And so everything we've talked about today is talking to those people, because if you implement these practices, that's what makes your organization really grow.
You are your own brand when you are self-employed, and people buy from people, and they buy from people they know, like, and trust. We've heard that over and over again. Forever we've heard that. But Kody, isn't it true, right? We want to buy from people we know, who we like, and who we trust. I'll give you a quick example. I was looking for a vehicle to buy years ago, and I didn't like the salesperson or management at a dealership. I actually went somewhere and spent a little more money on that same vehicle from another individual in dealership because I liked them. I
Yep.
didn't want to give the business to someone I didn't like. For better or for worse, you might say, well, gosh, that's not very friendly. But for whatever reason, I didn't feel compelled to spend my hard-earned money with them. I wanted to give the money to someone I liked.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. And again, that ties back to our whole discussion about what relationship marketing is. Relationship marketing is about the first word, not the second. The mistake most people make is they hear relationship marketing and they focus on the second word, marketing. Oh, there's another way to market. No, this is a way to create relationships.
Yes.
And when you create the relationship, then the marketing kind of takes care of itself.
So when people are budgeting for send out cards, don't put it under advertiser and marketing. Put it under networking, I guess, right?
Probably. Yeah. It's a good
It's
point.
true. It's true. Kody, this has been great. I could talk to you all day long. I really appreciate your time, and so does Jordan.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I say, it's an honor to be a part of that. I love Jordan and the Beach Money brand. The Beach Money is so core to his messaging, and we provide affiliate programs here, network marketing programs here. Jordan's part of those, to where we're in that environment of creating residual income opportunities for people. And there's no better way to live a life than to have residual income. Jordan, he works hard, but boy, does he ever have a lifestyle that most people would just love to have. He's traveling all the time. In fact, right now as we speak, he's down in Cabo, doing some mastermind, and he's got the freedom to do those things, which it's just adds to his quality of life. It's because he's built a book of business that has residual income. It pays him over and over again every month. And you definitely want to be in a business model that helps you to do that.
Speaking of Jordan and he being able to travel and having freedom and connecting, he contacted me a few months ago, and he said, Jim, this is before I started doing his podcast. I know you're big into podcasting. I'm going on a podcasting cruise for a week in the Caribbean. You should go. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be on a ship in November with Jordan Adler and many other people, connecting, networking around the podcasting space. And it's great. And if it weren't for Jordan thinking of me, I wouldn't be going on this cruise with other people in my industry. And so he thought of me, and I appreciate that. And wouldn't everyone love to spend a week with Jordan Adler? I mean, he's going to be on a ship with me. Now, he and I'll be spending a lot of time together.
Yeah, that's great. Great stuff.
Yeah. Kody, in the notes of this podcast, I'm going to put information on how people can reach you and Jordan. And if they're interested in learning more about the program with Send Out Cards, Promptings, it'll all be in there. And of course, always information in there to reach Jordan directly. Kody?
Yeah. So you want me to give you some of that contact info?
Sure.
Yeah. So, just promptings.com is the way to go. And our independent affiliates have their own links to that. Jordan has his own link to promptings.com. But if you go to promptings.com, it really gives you the whole story of what we're all about and how we can help you in different areas. It includes Send Out Cards, tells you the story of Send Out Cards and how it's a mechanism to help you stay connected with other people. So it's all available, all there.
I have used Send Out Cards. It is an amazing product. There's nothing else like it. And it is a fantastic tool. I recommend everyone look into it. And on the business side of it too, if you want to be cruising around the world and sitting on the beach like Jordan Adler. And he works though. I mean, Jordan's working on the beach, but he's working at his pace, and he can work anywhere he wants. So it's a great lifestyle.
So Jordan's the master of consistency. So when he is working, he actually literally does not know he's working. Like it's just part of what he does. He goes on a cruise for the intent to go on a cruise. And unquestionably, he always walks off that cruise with 5 new associates or customers or affiliates on his team. And he's not going to tell you he was working. He was on a cruise having fun. And so it's just so much a part of who he is. Doesn't even feel like work to him. So
yeah, I agree. Kody, I really appreciate your time today.
Jim, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun to chat with you. And like we could go on for hours, but really appreciated your style and how how we interacted today. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. We'll get you back on again soon.
All right. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.